Hey, everybody, welcome to this month's community webinar. Type it if you can hear and see me okay. We have three panelists, Rebecca and Jane. Can you guys hear and see me okay?
Yep.
Very quiet dog in the background. How's everybody doing today? What is new in your neck of the woods? I'm coming at you from our home office, our new home office now. If the surroundings look different, don't freak out. It's really me. Can everybody hear and see me okay? Michelle, 90 degrees in Baltimore. Tell me where you're logging in from, assuming you can all hear and see me, and we'll dig right in. Hey, John, good to see John Rogers, Edmonton, Canada, Tucson, Phoenix, Asheville, LA, Columbus. Hey, I'm from Cleveland. Good to have you on. Michael from Berlin, Missouri, Carlsbad. Dude, you're right down the street, Corey. I'm in Encinitas, right by Moonlight Beach right now. Paradise Valley, not Paradise City. That's a Guns N' Roses song. Calgary, San Antonio, Disney area. Good to see you, Corey. Yes, you heard. I'm right down the roadie. Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Long Island. A couple housekeeping things that are pretty cool. Number one, when you're commenting, if you want to comment to other people so we can all hear each other, you want to comment to everyone, not just panelists. If you look at your comment section, you can change it from panelists and attendees. Or if you want to respond to someone individually, if you see someone that has a question and you want to help them offline, or there's a potential to work with somebody or secure their services or anything in between, you can just do that, okay? So, thank you. That is Bear. We just went for a long hike, and he's seeking water, which I just gave him, okay? Thank you. Say hi, Bear. So I want to dig right in with a... Oh, cool. I want to dig right in with a issue that I see all the time. First, I want to set expectations. Then I want to show you something very, very cool I think is going to help all of you. And I want to address an issue that just came up in the community, a post that we get probably every 90 days. It's sometimes we fail to realize that we're living in this evergreen world, but there's new people coming in all the time. And new folks have the same questions and struggles that we figured out a long time ago. And to them, they're all brand new. So I want to address a couple basic things. But first off, let me go to my slides and make sure that you all understand what we're going to cover today. Okay? So the first question I want to cover with you is I want to ask you if this is your first time on one of our live sessions. We do these monthly for the community. We instead of just having a training product, even though the community is our low end, quote unquote, offer, a low priced offer, we want to be able to help you get unstuck. So you'll see our certified coach, you'll see John, you'll see Chris Ross, you'll see Liz Pineda every now and then. You'll see our certified coaches adding value to you. And anytime somebody on our team helps you out, they're doing that out of the kindness of their heart. Okay, we don't pay them to directly coach community members, but they do it just because they really like the community, and we really appreciate that. I try to do the same, and I show up on these calls to help you get unstuck. So most of this time should be spent helping you get unstuck. But first, I just want to understand if this is your first session, if it is your first live session here, okay? Claudine says yes. David's been here a couple times. Matthew, first one. Ann says my first one. Wes, a couple people, it's your first time. Okay, now we have a whole bunch of people saying first live one. So let me just set expectations. Can you see this slide I'm sharing with you? I'm not going to go into presentation mode. We're all family here, so I'm just going to show you some content, okay? There's three things you want to bring to these sessions with me. We say be ready to go. What does that mean? It means we want to know where you are right now in your continuum working through the Fletcher method frameworks. We know that 90% of your success is in the foundational stuff, and a lot of people come here into the Fletcher method having tried what we call floodgates or tactics, traffic tactics. They're trying to figure out Instagram or Facebook ads or YouTube, and they haven't nailed down their foundation and their message yet and their offer. Therefore, they're either filling their calendar, trading time for money, or trying to do marketing or launch marketing campaigns that aren't effective. Okay, so we want to know where you are right now. The second thing we're going to ask you in a minute is any big takeaway or breakthrough that you've had, so we can kind of share best practices briefly. And most of our time is going to be spent helping you get unstuck by addressing your greatest obstacle. Okay, so I'm on a super large screen. That's why there's some margins on the edges. I just got to a curved monitor, so I don't have to have two different monitors. So if you can't see it, I can zoom in. Just let me know. Okay. Hey, Andy, good to see you, buddy. Okay. So first thing is I want to understand is where are you right now in your journey? What is the one thing that you're working on right now going through the Fletcher method? Are you working on your avatar, trying to get your message down, your $1 million message? Are you putting together your profit pyramid and your signature solution? We see a lot of people that either don't think certain steps apply to them, or they don't know how they apply to them, or they don't think they apply at all, which is critical because the whole reason you're doing this work is to create two outputs, two pieces of content that you're going to have to show every single person you ever talk to or communicate with or show a YouTube video to or do a podcast about. In other words, every piece of content you ever create, you should be mentioning, if not showing, the profit pyramid and the signature solution. And we get a lot of questions about how they fit together and do you need them? And it's quite simple. I can go into that if people have questions there. It's one of them is asking your target audience or your prospect where they are now in their journey. And then the answer to that is how to get to the next level. Okay. And your $1 million message talks about the promise of the results your product or program provides, but the signature solution shows them a path. And because no one else has shown them that pyramid and that path, then all of a sudden it's intuitive that they have a lot of confidence and faith to climb your pyramid, if that makes sense. So what are you working on right now in your continuum? Restarting your coaching and facilitation practice. This is really important for startups. Completing the avatar, says Sonia. The AA video, I have something I'm really excited to share with you. We're going to post some images of these slides in the community. I'm going to show you some brand new stuff that you've never seen before that I think has filled in the gaps for some of our systems, okay? A lot of authority amplifier folks, converting webinar after the lead magnet, okay? I would say make sure your lead magnet is your signature solution at first before you try to create one based on a piece of it. A little bit of insight. If the problem you solve for your customers is clear to them and it's a problem that they have, why would you be in business solving a problem someone doesn't need to solve? So 90% of success and the foundation is getting the right currency, which is actually more important than the right audience. It's like, I want to be known for this one problem that I solve. If you get that right, then you can use that to advertise on Facebook instead of trying to get them there eventually. You can just say, look, here's a 3-step system that our clients are using to get this result in this amount of time, okay? Stuck on signature solution, that's what I'm here to help you with, Denise. I will give you a really, really good overview on that, but save your question. You might have to repost it when I open it up for questions, what you're stuck on right now. I don't want to hear what you're stuck on for one more moment. I want to know what you're working on, like where you are in the process, so I can just calibrate this content to the masses that are on here, okay? All righty. Let's keep going. Please, where are the two people working on? Okay, so you guys are pretty much mostly on the foundation. Some of you are doing funnel stuff, and one of you is doing ads. And if you have ads questions, that's fine, but let's dig into the foundational stuff. So there was a post this morning in the Facebook group, and we see this post all the time. Corey has a great question. I don't know if you're on here, Corey. Jane or Rebecca, if you can make sure that Corey gets this piece of content, other people would benefit from it. So Corey says, I have to say that one of my challenges with the $1 million message is the ethics/legality of the metric and the timeline. It seems, let me make sure I'm on the right microphone here. Check 1, 2. Sounds good. Does this sound good? Is the mic okay? Is the microphone, does it sound like I'm talking on the right mic? Okay, good, because there's an echo if not. Thank you. Appreciate the feedback. I have to say one of my challenges with let me zoom in on this and let me share this screen, the whole screen, desktop 1, and let me zoom in here. We have our attendees, we have our panelists, and let me just make sure you can see this, okay? So we're going to zoom into this Facebook post. It's a really good one, and it happens all the time from members, okay? And I'm going to a little bonus question for y'all. I have to say one of my challenges with the $1 million message is the ethics/legality of the metric and the timeline. It seems to be grounds for a lawsuit. If you're using it in marketing material, maybe it could work with proper disclaimers and insurance policy in place. I'd guess most people using the $1 million message are litigation proof and never reach a large enough audience, so it never becomes a problem. Ethically speaking, well, maybe you did 2 extra sales in 90 days. Do you really think that others are going to do the same? Could you do the same again right now, even if you had to, even if you actually achieved it? Yes, your service may boost sales, but the radical increase is usually a combination of the market offer and timing. On that note, okay, so there's a couple filters here, Corey, and the coach in me is just going to be very direct. There's a little bit of negative Nancy-ness in here. There's an undertone of I'm not calling you Nancy, I'm just saying there's negativity. Like, even if you did ever possibly do that, how could you ever guarantee it? I'm going to tell you a couple things regarding to this. I'm going to be very direct. The metric and the timeline are just simply based on you getting clear on the one problem you solve and how to quantify it to the level that you are comfortable with, that you stand behind, that you actually do produce results with every day, and that your customers achieve. But it's really important to understand something, that this is not for small people who never reach an audience, where this is all just some joke and they never become successful. Can Domino's Pizza say 30 minutes or it's free? Yes, because they stand behind it and they guarantee it. Does 8-minute abs promise you're going to have abs in 8 minutes? Of course not. It's the time of the work line, which implies the currency of people don't want to do workouts that take an hour and a half. They want to get maximum results, minimum time. That's their $1 million message. And any company, 30 days or it's free. Like if I'm going to build a roof on a house and I'm a contractor, I use this analogy a lot. I'm going to come into a client and I'm going to say, I'm going to build you this roof using this material at this budget and this time. I have to stand by my results, or else what good is it having a business if you absolutely can't mention any result or stand by any kind of metric or timeline? Then you don't have a business. Like, if you can't quantify the effect on your clients' lives or business, then what's the benefit in the first place? Now, of course, there are legal issues for certain industries, financial advisors, lawyers in many cases. My whole background is in legal and working with lawyers. We don't have any ethics or legality issues. Why? Because, very important distinction. If you're a coach, an agency, a consultant, or a trainer, you have a membership site, if I can say, look, in 12 weeks, I'm going to give you a complete pathway, all the tools and systems and strategies you need to double your sales in 90 days. That's our goal. That's the ideal goal. And my saying, I guarantee everyone that signs up for my program is going to double their sales. That's silly, because it's not possible. People don't take action. Some people don't have the skill, the commitment, the ability, the experience. But if you have the plan, which is the signature solution, if you have the blueprint, the framework, the plan, the strategy, what you're telling them is that as you're delivering that. When you look at the currency calculator and you go through for your clients, let me show you something newer here. And you simply go to your target market and you say, okay, once I find out all the pains and frustrations that my market is experiencing and what's going to happen if they don't fix them, right? So I have need pain now. Oh, my fear is never play golf again, not be mobile for my family. My goal is to just be able to play golf one day or to have full range of motion in my leg. Why? Because I want to be there and be active adult and be able to travel and play with my kids. Once you figure out all the top 3 pains and frustrations, goals and desires, then you simply rank them and you go, okay, well, let me think. If I'm a personal trainer, if I'm a financial advisor, if I'm a business consultant from a Facebook ads agency, what are all those things, those currencies that I can increase or decrease? Okay, well, I can increase, energy levels and confidence and strength, and I could decrease body fat and depression and anxiety, for example, right? Now it's my job as an entrepreneur and a business owner to ethically quantify them. Not saying I'm going to guarantee I'm going to triple your sales in one day without ever spending $1, or I'm going to give you a pizza in 1 second without charging you for it. It's silly. Of course, you have to be ethical about this, but of course, everybody has a metric and a timeline. Okay, it's the goal of your program. It's the goal that you've achieved for others. It's the goal for your clients. Like, I have a friend that is a lawyer that he was actually a former consulting client of mine, works in the landlord-tenant space. He says, our goal is 0% eviction rate. The name of the program is 0% eviction rate. or it was then, which is based on telling landlords that's the goal. If you screen tenants properly, then you manage their activity properly, and then you handle evictions properly when they come around. The goal is for you to inform that in the feedback and eventually have a 0% eviction rate. The 0% injuries is the goal on the factory floor. We have injuries, of course, but our goal, our mission is to achieve 0% injuries in our manufacturing center. Does it mean you're going to be sued if you have an injury? No, it's the goal. It's called a goals grid. Okay. And if you're the one providing the framework, the blueprint, the feedback, the system, the signature solution, you're giving them a blueprint to cut their employee, like you're an HR consultant. Our goal is to cut your employee turnover from 20% to 10%. It's to cut your turnover in half. That's our goal, what we aim for. Some clients achieve it and some don't. Some do better than that, some do worse. But our goal is to have you understand and implement a clear step-by-step system for cutting your turnover in half. So you take all those things you can increase or decrease, and it's your job to attach a metric that you feel confident and good about, that is legal, that is ethical. We're not telling you to BS anybody, and I don't think there's anything in our content or in other members' $1 Million Messages that implies that. Okay, we're very serious about this stuff. The $1 Million Message is simply saying, I help these people achieve this result in this amount of time without this. So this dovetails into another common question we get. People say, but I don't have a currency. I do public speaking. I don't have something I can measure. I can't tell people I'm going to get them $10 million in a speaking gig or double their speaking gigs in 10 days. Yeah, but everything can be measured, because you just have to understand that there are different scales of measurement. Confidence can be measured. Saying, if I say completely confident, my goal is to give you a step-by-step program for you to be 100% confident stepping on stage for a speaking gig. 100% is a metric. Does that make sense? My goal is to feel you completely, to kill your shyness, to kill your addiction, to stop your cravings. You see currencies and timelines in every single industry and market on the planet. Sometimes they're implied because they're good marketers and they're creative. This is a template for you to get the ideas out and make sure you have the raw material in place to craft a currency. We always say, Domino's Pizza is, again, a big example. Their avatar was broke college kids who don't care about taste. It used to be, and they want the fastest, cheapest pizza. So they could have, if you reverse engineer their $1 Million Message, they might have said, we help, hungry college kids have a hot, delicious pizza without waiting a long time or spending a lot of money. Okay. And then they craft it down and down and down and down. 30 minutes or it's free. Everything is inside that statement, 30 minutes or it's free. It's a guarantee. It's a timeline. It's all built in. Those are implied. Some currencies are implied. 8-minute abs is a perfect example. We help struggling executives or whoever the avatar they're advertising to lose stubborn fat around their midsection in less than 10 minutes a day without going to an intimidating gym. That would be the $1 Million Message for that type of business. 8-minute abs is what happens when you refine it and refine it and refine it and get it down. So the takeaways are, the $1 Million Message is arguably the first huge milestone in this system. If you don't get that right, none of your marketing is going to be effective, because it's saying, here's the one problem I solve, and here's how I form a statement around that to make it irresistible by saying, think about this. What's the opposite? The opposite is, I help people feel better, or I help people lose weight in 12 years, or I help people maybe lose weight. Probably not. I don't know. We just work out and stuff. That is not going to sell stuff. Okay. So the opposite of, I challenge business owners who aren't comfortable with it by saying, what good is it to spend your life and your hard work and your risk and be away from your family and do everything it takes to be an entrepreneur if you can't have a transformational result that you can stand behind? I really mean that. What good is it if you can't stand behind it? Life coaches, we help you get clarity and feel better. No, that's not going to cut it, because you're charging people money for a bunch of nebulous woo-foo stuff when you can get more clear and figure out what's the problem you're going to solve in someone's life. I'm going to unlock your childhood fears or crutches or belief systems so you can live life to the fullest and be 100% happy on a daily basis, right? Does that make sense? Tell me if that makes sense. Okay. Let me go back down to real time here. Okay, clear, sounds fine. Yes, 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 sounds fine. Sounds perfect. Needs some social proof I can point across. Yeah, so the best thing you could do, Michelle, is the real deal. Go get a result for somebody, right? So if you are starting from scratch, this still works. It works better than if you have a whole bunch of different clients and you have to go retrofit this onto your business. If I want to be a business performance coach, a life coach, a consultant, what's the first thing I'm going to do? Go work with somebody for free or for a discount or at cost and say, look, I'm going to take my knowledge, Mr. Chiropractor. It's a bad example. Mr. Legitimate Physician. I'm going to take my knowledge in marketing and business, and I want to impart it all on you. I want to help other pediatric dentists get a flow of new patients, book their calendar with patients without spending an arm and a leg on advertising. And I have a system I think is going to work really good. If you're willing to be the guinea pig, I'm going to work with you and not charge you a dime for my time. I just want to create a case study around it. It's a win-win. I'm going to run your ads. I'm going to set up your messaging. I'm going to set up the intake script that your team uses when new patients come in. I'm going to help you come up with an offer to get more new kids and families into your practice. And I'm going to help you increase the value of those patients, all as a case study. How does that sound? We're going to work together for 90 days, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to help you be successful. What is that pediatric dentist going to say? They're going to say, heck yes, of course, right? Then I'm going to build a case study and form a currency and a message around it. It's the most powerful form of marketing. It's sincere, it's direct, and you have real metrics to back it up. How I helped one Cleveland pediatric dentist go from 0 to 30 new patients without spending $1 in paid advertising, or without hiring an ad agency, or without paying for leads, or without whatever the biggest pain or frustration is. Here's the metrics, here's the timeline, here's the currency. You take that case study and simply walk people through it, walk them through your signature system and show them how it maps over. And you say, okay, this is what I did for this avatar. If you like, I've shown you what I did. If you want to know how you can work with me to help get results, I'd be glad to help you do that. All you have to do is book a call with me, okay? Don't overthink it. And don't come at it from a scarcity mindset or a negative filter. Just trust the process, go all the way through it, give yourself that. Okay, it's proven. Just do it. Okay. Regulations, Andy says. Yes, there are regulations. There are claims. Facebook doesn't want you to make claims. They want anyone to make claims that aren't true, right? The lawyer industry. I work for Nolo.com. There was the Florida bar has different regulations than the Texas bar. Financial advice. I mean, there's tons of different industries that have industry specific rules, but I can still use this up to the limit that is ethical and compliant, of course. So if let's just say I'm in a financial industry, the financial services space, the most regulated, thankfully, there is. I can't say I'm going to help you go from $1,000 to $1 million in your retirement account guaranteed without losing $1 in the stock market. That'd be horrible, and you'd get shut down. But can I say I'm going to give you a clear step-by-step strategy that represents the top 3 things the world's most successful personal advisors do or individual investors do to achieve the highest level of confidence in your retirement while minimizing risk. Yes, I can say that. And I will say that. And you should say that. And it's compliant and it's legal. And if it's not, you're still using this framework and this methodology, folks. It's not like you can't pull out like 3 spark plugs, like, well, those don't apply to my car. The engine won't run. You can't skip it. You can't miss it. You can't say, I'm going to do everything but this. You have to do this. And it works for everybody. And it applies to everybody, I should say. Okay. Yeah, a transfer. Like, how do you? I like Corey. That's really true. Like, the bottom line is, your client's at point A, they want to go to point B. I would challenge anyone that can't say, I'm really confident I can help you get to point B in 90 days. Or again, the opposite is like, I don't know, it might work. Never tried it. I'm hoping we get some results here. But hey, let's just give it a whirl. That's not going to work. Regulated industries, says Dan, but have no problem saying I can provide the opportunity for financial independence through business ownership. Yeah, Dan, we had a great guy here, Mark Livingston, who was at our live event. Actually, I could show you guys. We literally built a training center here in the house, so we don't have to go to hotel rooms and deal with all that. And his job as a broker, a normal franchise broker, is to say, well, I'm going to help you find the best franchise and have financial independence. But what he did is a step above. It says, look, based on your experience, your investment, your timeline, and your risk tolerance, I'm going to help you look at the best ways to achieve financial independence, the most proven models, and find the best one for you. Right now, you're looking at franchises and even beyond franchises, selling at home and multi-level marketing stuff. And there's a lot of different ways to achieve financial independence. He's starting there and then saying, well, based on your needs and goals, a franchise might be the best one. Now let's drill down to the best franchise. Okay. So for all of us, our market has levels of awareness, right? This goes back to Eugene Schwartz, Claude Hopkins, scientific advertising, breakthrough advertising, which is like, do you understand where your client is in the buying cycle? An example would be someone that needs landing pages. That's a small part of the market where it's really expensive to advertise to. Well, somebody who needs more traffic and leads on their website, that's even easier. And someone who hasn't done any of it at all, that's harder. That's like there's a segment of the market you don't want to touch, is someone who doesn't even know they have a problem. They don't care. As soon as somebody is problem aware, they have a problem they want to solve, that's the sweet spot, right? That's why Facebook can be more cost effective than Google AdWords in a lot of cases, because everyone's trying to bid when someone goes and says, I need a new roof in my house. But on Facebook, you can take the people that will need a new roof in their house in the near future and educate them about the best designs and layouts and materials and costs and the best way to get from point A to point B. And that is why it's so effective to be able to advertise based on who people are and what they do, who they are and what they do. Does that make sense? Okay. Top questions. I have a couple things I definitely have to show you that I think are going to help everybody. I'm going to go into the first one now. I want you to type in your top struggle, the top question you're having. But we came up with some goodies in this live intensive event. One of which I realized people were struggling with is the authority amplifier. And I'm going to post this image in the community group, which is the right way to lay out your authority amplifier script. So before we kind of told you a bulleted outline, this drills down and ensures you're not leaving any stone unturned. A big takeaway for you, all of you, is I want you to understand that every piece of content you ever produce, I'm going to show you where to get that content. I'm going to show you how to produce the content. So a lot of you are blogging, you're doing YouTube videos. My good friend Mike Cooch put a video out yesterday, and I partially agree with it. He said, look, the biggest takeaway I've had if you're in the local marketing space is just to produce tons of content all the time. That's the key to success. And I would say, no, it is if the content has context, because people are drowning in content. They need context. No one needs more content. They need more context. So when you solve a problem and you have a signature solution that shows people how you solve their problem, when you take them from point A to point B in a certain amount of time, you show them a map to get from point A to point B, then you provide context. Here's where you are. Here's where you want to go. Here's what you need to do. And I can help you with the how in my products and my programs and my training. It's a very important, it's a very important transformation that happens. Okay. Rachel Matthews says, hey, Rachel, so good to see you. I can attest to how much easier it makes your marketing once you get your MDM sorted. Okay. It's literally everything we do uses MDM, everything. I would argue you don't need to take courses on copywriting if Like, think about it. If I'm selling some kind of weird nootropic vitamins, I have to be a master copywriter. I have to think about, I have to build needs. I have to say, well, there once was a person who struggled with this, and then they hit their low, and then they took the hero's journey, and they discovered that essential oils were the key to life. And you have to be a wizard at copy. But a brain surgeon doesn't have to do that. Because when you have a serious problem, a serious accident, heaven forbid, a serious condition, and you need a brain surgeon, I need a brain surgeon. Okay? So the closer you take your business toward a problem that they have to solve, the better off you're going to be, the less marketing you have to do, the less copywriting you have to do, the less BS you have to do. Look, every day I help pediatric dentists get 2 to 10 times more patients online. That's our goal. That's our mission, to launch a 7-figure dental practice without hiring more staff. That's all we do. I am the dental growth person. That's all I do, is a 7-figure dentist. Boom, period. Okay. So when you show your folks a clear path, and any piece of content you create, here's a huge takeaway we had at our live event here. By the way, if any of you are interested to come here in June and go through all this with us live, we had 18 people here, 4 weeks ago? It was a blast. We had, I don't know if any of you are on here, we had folks from Singapore, Canada. What was the farthest? The farthest was Singapore. A lot of US people, obviously. It was a blast. Anybody here that was at the event? So Debbie's on here. Good to see you, Debbie. Pretty cool experience. And we just said, we went through this program and created a map for folks, a 1-page strategy map that represents kind of your online business model. Don't freak out, Andy, and some of you guys that are nerds like me. But we took the system that is the Fletcher method and created a 1-page map. And that was a big aha moment. I was inspired by Story Brand and folks out there that have like a package system, so packaged that it can live in 1 page. And it has the numbers you need to hit, the problem you solve, the currency, who your target prospect is, your audience size, your product, your signature solution, and the whole process you're going to use, from ads to your authority amplifier to your sales script and everything in between. So that's why some of our frameworks might look different. They're from that event. So when you have your signature solution and you're looking at the steps you take people through, the next step is to know what to write content about. Like, okay, well, I have one funnel live. What am I going to write blogs and YouTube videos about? And here's where many entrepreneurs really mess up and miss an opportunity. And I want you to get clear on one thing right now that's super, super important. Okay. You should never, ever, you should write this down. There's never, ever a reason to create a piece of content that doesn't live in your signature solution. Okay. That's number one. You should never, ever, you don't have to say ever, that's for dramatic effect. You should never, ever, never, ever create a piece of content that doesn't live inside your signature solution. If a customer can ever ask you a question and you can't point them here and say, wait a minute, Jim, before I ask what you should be doing on Instagram, let me make sure you should be talking about Instagram, because Instagram is in the floodgates section. I want to make sure you have the right customer and message and offer and funnel in place before we talk about Instagram. Now you're being a preeminent coach or consultant. Now you're providing real value to people by giving them context and pushing back and saying, stop asking me those questions about things that are distracting, that you're not ready for, that aren't helping you. You know, someone comes into a jiu-jitsu class and start asking about how do you jump up in the air and do a reverse arm bar. It's like, no, let's protect yourself from a schoolyard bully choke first, or a bear hug. Then we'll get to the helicopter arm bar in about 5 years. Okay. So everything lives here. Secondly, so you should never, ever create a piece of content that doesn't live in your signature solution. This is really, really big. Secondly, you should never, ever deliver a piece of content that doesn't take them back to the signature solution and provide context. So anything you could ask me about online marketing lives in the signature solution. In fact, none of you can ask me any question about marketing that I can't point to my Fletcher method signature solution. Should I do direct mail? How to publish a book? how to create a membership site, SEO, blogging ideas, business opportunities, how to choose a target niche, how to lay out a video sales letter, how to get traffic from YouTube, how to create a landing page, blah, blah, blah. You get it. That is when you really start cooking with gas, when you realize, wow, I'm providing the most context for my audience, the highest level of perspective. And that is where they have a sigh of relief. Like, oh, it's not that complicated. Whew. Does that make sense? There is a clear path. Then when you create a piece of content, you always use the authority amplifier script. Again, I'm going to share this image with you in the Facebook group. You grab their attention. Here's what today we're going to talk about the top 3 recipes to burn fat, even if you're a mesomorph. That's a bad example. You have to grab their attention quickly. Proof. And what I'm going to show you is not just something I made up. It's what I've used, what our clients use, and what the world's most successful chefs have used for years and years. So this is not just something I made up. It's like you can't find a successful chef that doesn't use these 3 ingredients. Boom. But there are some reasons why people can't achieve this result. 3 problems. The good news is I'm going to show you 3 simple steps to help you get these results. And the most important is here, context. But, what I just showed you, what we just covered today lives here. It's only one part of a simple 3-phase or 3-step process we use to help people land a circus job as a juggling clown in 90 days without burning off their chin. Okay. So everything has to come back here. You have to bring him back. You can't just go off and say, I'm going to show you on this YouTube video how to do an Instagram ad. Thank you. Goodbye. No, I'm going to show you the top 3 elements you have to have in a high converting Instagram ad. Right now, this is not just my strategy, but anyone that's a celebrity or fitness celebrity you see advertising Instagram uses this. But the problem is there's 3 reasons why people start Instagram accounts and never get results. They don't know how to target their market. The images aren't compelling, and they're not using copy to call out the avatar. Okay. Let me show you how we do it. But by the way, Instagram ads live here. If you want to get clear and you want to get this greater result and you want to double your online presence in 30 days without X, Y, or Z, jump on my calendar, buy this product. Okay. So that's a big, big takeaway. Does that make sense? I would take that course. That's funny, Michelle. Does that fill in some gaps for you? Because that was the goal. Shar on our team said, what you've done here is fill in some gaps. You've really we're not adding anything to the Fletcher method. We're trying to give you better context because some of you still are, especially the newer people, you don't quite get the power of what you're dealing with here. You're like, oh, this is another way to get leads. No, this is how you launch and scale a business, and it could be what you do for the rest of your time on the planet if you match your passion with a product that makes sense for you, okay? Like nothing you can ever do shouldn't be in your signature solution. That's why we spend so much time on it. That's why you can't skip over it, okay? Yes. Do you add testimonials to the, that'd be a great question. Do you add testimonials to the authority amplifier or case study? Yeah. So here is a really, really powerful thing that people, I'm like the opposite of Donald Trump. He's like, it's horrible. It's terrible. That's like the level of intellect. I'm saying powerful. Everything for me, super powerful, the best thing ever. Here's a super powerful thing you can do. Is if you have testimonials. When you have a testimonial and you're trying to show somebody, hey, here's how one pediatric dentist got results, or here's how one X, Y, and Z avatar got results, you don't just go off into a vacuum and sit there and say, oh, I'm going to just walk you through this random case study. No, the case study has to follow this process. Here's how one hotel went from 40% vacancy to sold out, fully occupied in 90 days without spending more in advertising. You know, the hotel, here was the situation. Here's where they were struggling. Here's the steps we took them through. First thing we did is got clear on their positioning, their marketing, and their branding. Then we did their metrics. Then we got in front of their audience. And so a case study is simply you telling a story, walking through your signature solution. That's all it is. It has to be. It should be. It must be. It will be. Okay. Corey says, and I see how we're missing describing our signature solution and how we can walk through it. Okay. So great. Thanks. My target market is restaurant owners. I've done, Stephanie, it's just humor. Just humor. We can all make fun of ourselves and others. Life should not be so serious, folks. My target market is restaurant owners. I've done several rounds of ads in the campaign. I set up using the Fletcher method. I was able to get good initial results within the first 2 weeks each time, but then the frequency went up towards 2 and the result pretty much stopped. Audience size 120K. Here's a couple things. So Eric, great question. If you're advertising on Facebook, some of the golden rules are focusing more on the problem you solve and who you solve it for is critical. Okay, that flies in the face of a lot of marketing models or business. They'll say niche down, there's riches and niches. Either you have to be, it's all about the lifetime value of a customer. Either you have to charge a few people a whole lot of money by solving a ton of different problems, or you have to appeal to a large market audience and charge a decent, profitable rate by solving one problem in a world-class way. Okay? So if Lead Pages or ClickFunnels has the best pages or funnel software, if they want to go and launch a business marketing funnels for dentists, they would have to do their ads, their funnels. They'd have to do sales coaching. They'd have to do live events. They'd have to offer software upgrades and enterprise licenses and all this stuff, because there's two ends of a spectrum and you can't be at both sides. Like either you have a lot of high dollars for fewer clients, or you have a mass market offer. That's the scale, right? Market size versus lifetime value of a customer. Hopefully that makes sense. One of the best things you can do is increase the size of that audience and run campaigns for different audiences. So I would ask you, who is your audience? Is it just, if it's just lawyers and you already have a whole business around it, then what you need to do is segment your ad sets and have different creative more often. So for local businesses, that use a local funnel, they're driving people into a store. They can't influence the size of their market. That's why what I help local businesses do is first get more clients into their local business, but then package their knowledge and sell outside their local market. So if you have a local karate school, sell martial arts products or information products to karate practitioners around the world. Quickly get out of the local market, or create a kick-ass local market, grow your karate studio from 6 to 7 figures, and really do a world-class job of using the signature solution to document that process. And guess what? Create a mastermind of karate school owners and help them. Okay. But if you're a local market and that's all you have, local retailer, sandwich shop, chiropractor, doctor, lawyer, you might have a market on Facebook of 30 or 40,000 people. You can't increase that audience size right now because you're just trying to get people to come into your dance studio. Okay. So to do that, you have to present more content to them, more pieces of your signature solution, more often with more segmentation. So instead of running one big ad to the audience of 30,000, you might have an ad for 25 to 34-year-olds, 35 to 39-year-olds, and on down the list. And then you can even do male versus female. You'll have much smaller ad sets, but you'll deliver deeply with less frequency into more of that ad set. So when you're advertising to a target market, let me just show you something. Pin my video. When you're advertising to a target market, that's scary in HD. Just realized for the first time that I'm balding. No, I'm just kidding. I realized that a long time. When you're advertising on Facebook to a target market, and you have an ad set. So this is from Andrew Tweedo, a data scientist who I trust immensely with my time and money when it comes to Facebook ads. Okay. I love you too, Samsung Galaxy 7. Hopefully this is not my PE teacher, Carl, that's saying they love me. Okay. So this represents an ad set, a group of people you're advertising to. Okay. What Facebook does, if you say, okay, this equals 100,000 people, they're not going to show your ad to 100,000 people. They're going to carve out a segment of your ad set, and they're going to randomly pick people in that ad set until they find a conversion, and then they're going to start to figure out who is likely to convert. Now, if you have a really good quality score and you have really good conversions and you have a really big budget, a larger budget, you'll start to reach more and more of that ad set. Okay. So even though you think you're advertising 100,000 people, you're not. You're advertising to a segment. So how do I overcome that? Is I might advertise to 25-year-olds, I might advertise to 35-year-olds, and I might segment out 45-year-olds, and then I might even maybe split that by male and female. Now, even though that's the worst possible drawing, I think you get it. Or I'm going to do more and more creatives. I'm going to do different artwork, different looks, different takes, different angles. That's the power of the signature solution. It's not an earthquake. My standing desk is actually a sitting desk today. I'm going to say, here's a template for Facebook ads. Here's a template for a sales script. Here's how to set up a funnel. Here's a case study. I'm going to have to create content across all the different areas of my signature solution. Does that make sense? Okay. For example, here's where we start cooking with gas. Once I have my signature solution down, what I want to do is I call these the stages and these the steps to be a little bit more clear. There's 3 main stages, each has 3 steps. So there are 9 steps, but you got to focus on those 3 main stages or milestones, because no one wants 9 of everything till they get to see and know and understand the value. You can't start out with, here's 72 recipes for paleo. No, what's the best recipe? Okay, start with that. Okay. Well, once you have your signature solution mapped out and you feel confident, the way you know it's good and the way you use it and kick what with it is you take each step of your signature solution and you think about the one problem that step solves. That's really important. Okay? So for the Fletcher method, finding your target market, copywriting or creating an effective marketing message, or how to price your product, right? How to create how to productize your offer, how to create a lead magnet, how to get convert leads into prospects, how to do a video sales letter. I can go all the way through it, but you have to think about the way you have this is a big deal, a big game changer. I really want you to pay attention. This is a big shift. Okay. The way you have a world-class system that you can just take to market with 100% confidence is knowing that you have a main problem you solve that you're known for. That's your currency. That your whole signature solution solves one big currency. But then if you take the time to nail down for each of those main stages the problem you solve for your audience, and each of those steps the one problem you solve above and beyond everything else, you are cooking with gas. I guess that's some weird kind of Tennessee analogy. You're cooking with propane, but you get it. Imagine if you're watching a webinar and you wanted to get results and someone was saying, hey, there's 3 core stages you have to go through if you want to launch a successful online business or lose studying body fat or win your first 5K or do whatever. Okay. The 3 main reasons people struggle are they don't have the right training material. They don't have the right system or strategy or mindset in place, and they don't actually know how to monitor their progress. I'm just throwing this out there. So these should be the 3 main problems you solve for your audience, right? What's the main problem you solve? Then if you take the time to list the problem that each step solves, this is a game changer. This is a game changer. This is a force multiplier. Now, when you say, hey, I have to create content, I need to go and create a whole bunch of content now because I have a small target market, I'm a local business, or I just want to kick more, online. I'm going to list all the search queries. What are people searching for online to solve that problem? How to make a lead magnet idea, how to form an ebook. What's the best lead magnet for doctors and lawyers? How do I format my lead magnet? Holy, what? So list the top FAQs and Google search queries that people are looking for each of those problems. And you could come up with, from your signature solution, dozens, if not hundreds, if not thousands of topics for Facebook posts, for videos, for YouTube videos, for authority amplifiers that drive people into your calendar, for offers to get people into your store, thousands of ideas for content. And don't ever create that content without using the authority amplifier script. Okay, game changer number 2. Are we on board? Y'all see it? Can you feel it? And do you get it? Okay. Eric says, my target to market, everybody type in a comment. Yes, no, maybe so. My target market is restaurant owners. I've done several rounds of ads with the campaign I set up using the Fletcher method. I was able to get goodness rose. Okay, we already said that. 120K. There you go. So for restaurants, you have a signature solution that helps restaurant owners get what? How to fill up your restaurant with great clients without banging arm leg on advertising, without becoming a technical wizard, or without whatever the biggest pain is. Okay. Now, what are all those things I can show restaurant owners? How one restaurant owner uses Instagram. How to fill your restaurant on empty days. The sales script we use to convert reservations to increase the frequency of people coming back. The weird direct mail trick we use to take our best restaurant customers and make them revisit twice as often. Okay. The free bribe we use to get people in during our deadest day. Okay. Come on in. Everyone that walks in the door on Tuesday gets a free beer, no questions asked. What? Why would you do that? Because I know the lifetime value of a customer. I know that 10% of those people also buy a sandwich and bring a friend. And there you go. Okay. Different content, different looks. Okay. Mark, you are meant to ask questions in chat. Okay. Hi, Carl. Other Carl. It's not you. That's funny. Can you please give a couple authority amplifiers for CAC types? Yes, we did add some to our knowledge base. Jane has been working on that. We don't have enough. Anybody else can tell us if they have one. We have a couple that we can use from our elite program. Absolutely. Heather's is 5 minutes. Heather Stevens has an authority amplifier that fills her calendar with prospects. That's a 5-minute video. Okay. Will the slide deck be in the replay? No, it will not. I'm going to give you the new frameworks here. Jane or Rebecca, this session could be called Fletcher Method 3.0 or something, because I'm just covering some new additional content. We'll eventually have formal training on some of this stuff, but this is just like, take this and run with it. We'll give them the image of the new authority amplifier and the signature solution content roadmap piece, this piece here, okay? So those are the things that we've never shown folks before. The rest is just different lipstick, okay? Yeah, of course, Michelle. Now that I'm finishing my coaching training, can I still attend these sessions? Yeah, we offer this. This is just a bonus piece. This is not even included in community membership as a paid thing. I just show up. The maximum minimum is for me to show up at least once a month and help y'all like this. Okay, so this is just a community coaching session for the lowest level members, the community members. Okay. Now, some of the stuff that you might be interested in and going deeper on, if that is you, if you're a coach or agency consultant and you sell to prospects, like you have to get on the phone with somebody and you want to launch an effective business or personal coaching or consulting practice, we have a model we call the perfect sales process to get people to show up on your calendar that are not tire kickers, that are showing up to take action, that are properly screened and ready and super motivated. And we have a new enrollment script, a sales script we use to convert prospects into customers. This is a big deal. Okay. If you're interested in that, this is just a public service announcement. There's a couple things we have coming up. We have a live workshop again coming up at the end of June, but more importantly, coming up in May, on May 14th, correct me if I'm wrong, we are doing a new program that we've never done before. It's called the 8-week, I'm going to mess this up, Launch Accelerator Extensive Center. It is called I'll show you to you right here. The Incinerator Measurator. No, it's called Jane deleted it, the file. No, the Launch Accelerator. And what this is just simply an 8-week program that we are going to use to take you. This is only for coaches, agencies, or consultants. And we're going to take you through something we created. I want to show you something that's going to freak you out. Okay. We created something. If you hear my daughter, we moved into our new Casa de Fletcher. Now I work from home and she does not want to take a nap. So sorry about that. I do. I totally want to take a nap. So for 8 weeks, we're going to work with a small group of coaches, agencies, and consultants, and we are going to create your launch map, which is the numbers you need to hit, how much you're going to charge, how much you're going to pay for a customer, the problem you're going to solve, the struggles you're going to overcome, nailing down your message, getting clear in your target market you're going to cover, mapping out your signature solution, making sure it's set up using everything I covered, a lot of that I covered today, and the process. So the projection, the problem, the prospect, the product, and the process. We're going to nail your ad, your authority amplifier, your scheduling process, your sales script, exactly how you're going to enroll clients without pressure selling. So this is for people who want to start taking what they know now and launching a coaching or consulting practice around it to get clients, or for people who already are coaches, agencies, or consultants that want to scale up quickly and work directly with myself and my team. It's a very aggressive 8-week program to get everything shipped. Okay? That's the public service announcement during this. Back to our normal programming. So what questions can I answer? Michelle says, how much? It depends on your business and the best version of this is for you. Some people aren't ready for this. They stay in the community. Some people go through our 8-week program. And some folks also become certified. So we have a certification program. I'm not going to go into detail now, where people can actually use all of these frameworks and systems for their clients. And we train you on how to grade and implement frameworks and clients. So we have 70 certified partners now. And that you're required to go through this 8-week program first to get your stuff down. And then you can become certified, which is a really exciting opportunity to get clients from our own community and the world at large using our systems and frameworks. So we brand everything that you see here in your brand, and you can use it with clients. But I don't want to go back to the content. If you have any questions about that kind of stuff, just email support@fletchermethod.com, and we will channel you to your business strategist, Shar, Michael, or Zach, or somebody in between. Okay? Mark is on here. Good to see you, Mark. Mark is actually going to be one of. Did you hear the franchise stuff I talked about, Mark? Somebody had a question. I can connect you guys about franchise brokerage. But Mark signed up for the accelerator, the 8-week accelerator. He was here at the event. That was amazing how time flies, man. Feels like that was yesterday. It's already a few weeks ago. Okay, Joyce has a great question about, let me go back here. Joyce has a great question about which of these is clear, okay? I help leaders and organizations build resilience to thrive again in 90 days or less. Okay, so nobody wakes up at night with wanting resilience. Wow, that orange really makes me look tan. Let me go to a different color. Okay. How about that? Okay. Actually, I like being tan. So we have a filter we use for our $1 million message, Joyce, called the keeping you up at night filter. What the heck does that mean? It means when your prospect wakes up at night and they have a goal that they just want to achieve so badly, they can taste it, or a problem that hurts so badly, it's keeping them up at night. And they wake up and they go, if I could just figure out how to make this business work, or how to get more customers, or how to stop having to fire people and losing teammates, or working this hard for no profitability, right? There's a lot of things business owners and individuals wake up with. One of them is not resilience. This is very important, is for you to find the right currency in the language of your audience. Now, if I just leave you there, it's not going to help you very much. So let me help you. When you look at all the pains and frustrations and you go to your avatar and you say, hey, what's your biggest struggle right now? And your biggest 90-day goal. If I could wave a magic wand, What's your biggest 90-day goal? So let me see what you help them with. Building process to help the leaders thrive. Nope. Signature 8, wellness improvement process, help leaders and their companies. Okay. So here's the thing. I don't even know what you do, and that's not a good sign. Now, that's okay because we're going to fix it. We can't have these $5 terms like optimal health, resilience, wellness, business growth. The list goes on. We have to get way more clear than that. Okay. The good news is I used to tell everybody, go do an ask survey. So Ryan Levesque's program, the ask method, is really powerful. And he takes you how to go after a new product or target market and find out exactly what problems that they're trying to grapple with, so you can get really clear on which problem you're going to solve and scale up a business around that. Now, I realize in the meantime, you don't need to do that for many people because we're not living in a world that just materialized yesterday. Unless you're inventing the world's first hovercraft for omelets in the Southwest desert. In other words, unless you have some crazy invention and you're an absolute genius, or in some cases foolish, you don't need to do that. Why? Because there are other people advertising to my market. There are other companies doing business. There are software products for them. There are books on Amazon. So if you just go on Amazon and look at all the best and worst reviews for the subject matter of the problem you solve, so companies, when it comes to hiring, it's about going from category to currency, okay? If you look here, my category was, I would say, online marketing or personal training, okay, or organizational development, okay, or human resources consulting. Like, in other words, what's the business category that before the Fletcher method you would describe yourself? What do you do? I'm a financial consultant, financial advisor. You have to make the shift from category to currency. And this is the $1 million shift. It's a huge, huge thing. Because in all these other frameworks, you're saying, okay, who do I want to serve? In my target market, who am I going to help? Okay, now let me get more clear in my target market, their demographics, their psychographics. This is how you're going to be able to target your audience, right? Your interests, their affinities, their software they use, the tools they use. Okay, so I kind of have a feeling of their digital footprint, where they hang out, where am I going to reach them, how they think and feel, and what publications they buy, and how and that kind of thing. Then I started to say, okay, well, for that category of business, when it comes to your personal finances or your physical fitness, what are your pains and frustrations? And I don't guess. I look at competitors and their ads. I go look at Amazon.com. I can look at Google searches. The information's already there. It's right under our noses. Okay. And then I go, okay, well, seems like the top 3 pains I'm seeing from all the books on weight loss. If I look at the 5-star reviews on Amazon, it's all the currencies that the book did a good job of delivering on. If I look at all the 1-star reviews on Amazon, okay, it's weirdos, but it's also the promises, the currencies, the problems the book didn't deliver on. So all of you right now have a good piece of homework. Go to Amazon, take the topic that you work in, the problem you solve, and go look at the books that are listed in that category. And you're going to see they're going to say, this book was supposed to be how to launch a consulting practice. It didn't even tell you how to advertise, or it didn't have anything about selling. Okay, how to sell more clients. Okay, where to reach my clients, how to advertise. Does that make sense? Okay, so you have to start with, what's the one thing everyone knows what you do, unless you're some super, you're mapping the human genome in a laboratory full of, endangered species, and no one knows what you do, and it's so weird. For most of us, we can explain what we do at a cocktail party or a coffee shop. Okay, I'm a human resources consultant. That is my category of business, and now I need to go through this exercise to find the one currency. Your currency, Joyce, is not resilience. Resilience is a byproduct. Resilience can be a mechanism to get to your currency, but so they can, I'm trying to think, processes, resilience building process. If I could say my job is to help you, we have a unique program where we use best practices and processes and resilience to help you double the growth rate of your sales, or cut your employee turnover in half, or create a 7-figure practice, or increase, double your longevity, or whatever it is. There has to be a metric that matters, because you don't want to be on the cut list. What's the cut list? The cut list is when a business gets together, and in 2008 and in 2008, and some time to be determined, there's a financial correction, a downturn, a recession. You say, what? Oh my gosh, we got to cut our budget in half. No one's going to say, we got to keep resilience. No, we need sales team. We need our leads to come in. That's our oxygen, or we're cut off at the knees. We need our accountant. We need to pay taxes. We need profitability. We need people to fulfill our orders in the warehouse. Resilience is not going to live through that cut. Your business has to live through that cut by solving a problem that's so clear and so close to the pocketbook and so painful not to solve that how the heck could they afford not to work with you? Okay? Frank Kern had a hand in developing the funnels in Kartra. Yes, he did. It's a good system from what I hear, but I would not be an early adopter in many cases to something brand new that's not made by software people. Andrew's been there. Andrew says, this is so important. I've launched so many failures because the problem I was solved wasn't important enough. That's the game changer. And this I have to cite a couple people I've been really digging deeply on: Russ Ruffino, Sam Ovens, some of the oldest copy stuff, Eugene Schwartz, that we all are inspired and influenced by. Is like if I can give a gift to you, the best thing to do would be to do whatever it takes to get clear on the problem that you solve that is absolutely critical life support to your clients and to your prospects, not optional, not recreational. And you can do it with recreational things if you really think about it. People undervalue their contribution in the transformation. If you sell $3,000 paintings that help increase intimacy so people can be way more confident and have the right environment to start a family and not be lonely, that's a way bigger than I sell art. Okay? Yeah, finding a soulmate, that is a life problem. Okay, how do we get more clear? You go through this process and don't skip steps. You look at the target market and you say, the category that you serve, you say, what are the problems you're struggling with? Okay. And then then you look at who you serve and you list the top 3 pains and frustrations, the goals and desires. Someone messed with my numbers here. And you go, boom, boom. Sorry, OCD. And you look at what a good clue is how the heck your advertisers are marketing, because they're already solving these problems every day and they've already figured it out. If you see an ad that's been running forever that has a tons of comments and likes on it, it's because it works. And how are they architecting their messaging and funnel around solving that problem? But the Amazon book idea is a great one too. Then you rank them and you pick one. That's it. And you go to your target market and say, well, okay, here's all the things we can do. If I could wave a magic wand and solve one of these things for you in 90 days that you couldn't live without, what would it be? Let's say lose body fat, or double the size of my sales team, or stop all the turnover, or I want my weekends back. You have to go through the process. It's there. Yeah, Ryan Levesque, the ask method is really good. Okay. So the 8-week, so Alan Weiss has a great, Weissman, sorry, their name's called. Let me make sure I'm this window bigger. Sorry, there you go. Okay. I'm going back to you. Sorry, let me get back to you. Besides the 8-week intensive course, you mentioned creating a CAC funnel. Yes. So the 8-week intensive course is that. Okay. So we realized that instead of creating another course without real feedback and case studies, we're doing the same thing we did for our certified coach program. People in our certified coach program have freaked out. This is what sparked us to do this 8-week thing to work on your business. So in the certified program, people are posting, hey, I won a deal. I got these results. This is so much clearer. I did this, I did that. It only happened because we're taking people through it and going through it together and then showing up to find out where they're struggling and answering their questions. So the 8-week course is us going really deep for coaches, agencies, and consultants and working with you. Okay. Yep. Big transformation to go from category to currency. Right. So Rob has a good question. Is the core currency something you do or something that's created by the thing you do? For example, I'm a trainer. I can help you lose weight in 10 amount of days, but is the currency self-esteem or happiness? It's actually the weight piece. The implication and the huger benefit is important, but if you advertise that, that's not visceral enough. It's not clear enough. So if you're a personal trainer, I know if you look at our original webinar, and if you go through our currency calculator training, we use personal training as the model. I'm sure you've seen it. And all the things you can do as a trainer. You can increase strength and split times and confidence, and you can decrease food bills and depression and weight and body weight and all these things. Then you go to that specific avatar, their core currency is weight. I have another avatar, professional athlete, their currency might be running split times or something, or 440 time, or bench press increase, or bench press total weight moved, or win-loss record as a fighter, whatever, right? So everybody in your market, in your target market, might have different currencies. They might be somewhere different on your profit pyramid. That might be a beginner, intermediate, advanced, ninja, whatever. You have to pick that section of your market you're going to serve, okay? And the currency is the measurable thing, and then has a huge upside, the huge implication by doing it, okay? Okay, I have a lot of spiritual, emotional. So D says, let me go back and make sure I got Rob. I can help people lose weight next amount of time, but it's the currency, self-esteem, or happiness. I'm a planner. If I'm a planner, is the currency financial plan or the confidence it creates? So the thing, it's the benefit, but you have to realize there's three statements to a message. There's the feature, the benefit, and the implication. A lot of people, including a lot of the marketing gurus, stop at the benefit. Like, I help you do this. This computer is only 2 millimeters tall, so you can carry it and travel with it anywhere without noticing it in your backpack. Okay, that's the benefit. So you can increase your profitability and lifestyle and live and be financially independent, or have time freedom or location independence, and make a bigger difference in an income. So you don't want a hammer so you can have a hole in the wall, as Jay Abraham used to say. No, you want a hammer so you can have a hole in the wall so you can build a playhouse to be a hero to your son or daughter. Okay, so if you're a financial planner, the plan is nothing. That's just a feature. The plan, the currency is, I help you have a clear blueprint to have 100% confidence in your retirement, right? Without spending hours in front of a computer, or without day trading, or without hiring a financial advisor, right? That's a big deal. Okay. The timeline, says Dan, and the currency calculator, what is my professional ethics? What if my professional ethics prohibit me from promising a timeline? I'm a marriage and sex addiction counselor. I have lots of spiritual, emotional, relational, and financial currencies, and lots of metrics in those currencies. What are some workarounds when I cannot include a timeline? Easily. The timeline is right now. Right? I'm going to help you. My job, if you work with us in this 8-week program, by the way, you can have a timeline. How long do you work with them for? Is it indefinite? Is it 8 weeks? Is it one session? Is it every case is different? But let's just say you're training people, trying to do a leveraged group coaching or in-person therapy. The goal of this process, of our model, of our method, is to help you become 100% confident in your outcomes and your relationships. Does that make sense? Or to have zero cravings or zero relapses. That's our goal. It's not what we would try for everybody. Our goal is to minimize, your relapses, your desires. And let me see what else you do. So you can have confidence and peace and a better outlook, 100% positive outlook. That's a currency. as quickly as possible is a timeline, folks. Don't be so rigid. Like, I love that this conversation came up today from Corey and everybody else, because it's like everything, nothing can be measured with a currency or a timeline. As quickly as possible is a timeline. Like if I say, hey, I'm launching a new podcast called Consulting Profits, and the job is to help you launch and scale to make a huge difference in income by launching and scaling a profitable consulting business in no time flat, or as quickly as possible. Quickly as possible is legal everywhere, and it's not a false claim or a promise. Does that make sense? Do you have any program that can get me personal coaching on getting more clear? I'm doing every step and not clear. Yes, there's 2 ways to do it. Who do you depend on where you are? We have Coach John Stringer, who's my first certified performance coach, also a member of our team. You can do one-off framework review sessions with him. We price them ridiculously low. I think they're $250 or something. Or you can apply for our elite program, work directly with our whole team, and get through this 8-week program. Stephanie says, I've been a marriage and family therapist for 12 years. I know how to do what I do. The whole online messaging thing is complicated, though. Is it really glad to find this training? There are so many moving parts to it. Thank you. Yes, there are, because that is where people have failed before, Stephanie, is going. So to me, most of the courses I purchased or programs I attended had huge chasms and gaps and valleys. Like, oh, all you need to do is just put together a webinar, and then they click here and then they buy your stuff. Well, no, there's a lot of detail to lay out the webinar, then to get them to click there, and what happened and what to say to get them to buy your stuff. So we don't have too many steps. There's not one step that can be removed. It's I could have had one video. I used to have one video on the foundation, and it's like, no, if you just get clear in the avatar and the message and the product, and then the lead magnet, the authority amplifier, and the conversion event, either you're going to talk to people or close them in a webinar. That's not that many steps, really. It's just that we want you to make sure you don't misstep, or else the outcome will be disastrous. But you'll get there either way. I just want to help. It took me 6 years to get there. If I can get you there, would it be horrible if it took a year for you to get there? There's no university on the planet, and I'm saying this with 100% confidence. There's not a university on the planet that you can go to a business or marketing education and get what you need to actually launch a business. Think about that. Isn't that weird? How much does that cost? How long does that take? So is this really a big commitment compared to the upside? I would argue it's a short time with not that many steps. Is this specific enough? I help oil and gas services double revenue in 12 months so they can enjoy consistent revenue growth without worrying about energy prices. Yes, but I'm gonna challenge that a little bit. Double revenue in 12 months. I would say consistent revenue growth. You already said that, doubling their revenue in 12 months. What I would say is, I could say, I help you double revenue in 12 months. What's their biggest pain right now in their business growth? Or, what's the category you serve? Okay, well, I'm an oil and gas consultant or marketing consultant. Are you a sales consultant? Do you do profitability? Where do you usually find that revenue? Or is it the overall growth? I help oil and gas companies go scale from 8 to 9 figures or something, okay, without hiring additional staff, or without tying your growth to energy prices, or lowering risk based on energy prices, right? Without worrying about energy prices. Just worry about the one thing, the biggest pain that you solve. Yeah, the 8-week course, you're saying we're very thorough with the webinar funnel part of the course. I was hoping for something. Yeah, we can. I'm not opposed to offering more content. We just delivered our sales script now, our perfect funnel, our perfect sales process we launched for our certified group. We just don't have them on the radar right now, Alan. It's a need. There's a lot of coaches, agencies, and consultants. But quite frankly, we just have de-emphasized the community for good reason. Every one of you has segments of your market: beginners, intermediate, advanced, ninjas. for us, it might be 0 to 10K a month, 10 to 50 onwards to 7-figure businesses. Well, at first, what we recommend for all of you is serve the 2s and 3s. Don't start with the 1s. Don't start selling books or $100 courses or low price memberships. Some of you don't know this, but I had a consulting practice, an agency that did 7 figures. I had a coaching business that scaled to 7 figures, and then I launched the community. Okay. After you come down here, well, this is where all the noise is. I would never just have the community or launch the community first because, to be very honest with you, not that I'm deceptive otherwise intentionally, there's a lot of, I would say 5 to 8 people in the percent in the community go all the way through it without quitting, without making excuses, with the limited coaching we provide. And we have success stories every day in the community. There's probably dozens, if not hundreds of them, but most people don't, because they either say for $49, how good is it? Or my dog got injured yesterday because I could barely afford $49. So we're trying to make the community available to people that are beginners, and it's a very painful thing to do. It's a humanitarian effort because people tend to either not respect it, not take action. They don't have the grit to just do it without quitting. And you get just a lot of, it's like tons of help tickets. And it's just like, if you look at any space, you don't want to play in the bottom as your primary business unless you have a world-class innovative, SaaS application or something. The computer industry is the same way. Gateway Computers had the cheapest computers. They had to have a customer service office of 2,000 people to answer all the questions people had, like, where's the plug? Well, Dell decided to price it a little bit higher, Apple even higher. And you look at the longevity and the profitability and the timeline of those 3 companies. You want to play, the higher you play and the more you charge, the more likely people are to get results, and the more pleasurable it is to work with them. The fewer people you have to work with, the better case studies that you get, the more insights that you get, the more business opportunities that you receive. And it's just, I can't really think of any argument where any community member shouldn't discard level 1 for a long time, if indefinitely, and discard level 4. So your job is to take 2s to 3s and 3s to 4s. Okay. That's why in the community, we're not like, how do we create more and more content all the time when there's a ton of content? It's way underpriced. And for people that don't take action as a group. Okay. I know it's your website, you're charging $49. Is that for the entire course? I'm just curious to create a pricing structure. I just addressed that, Michelle. Yes, it is. We're probably going to close the community for a while at that price for reasons I just mentioned. Okay, you guys have any insights, key takeaways? You guys, is this helpful to understand kind of how this fits together at a different level, how everything lives in your signature solution, how every piece of content should come from your signature solution, that you can have an unlimited, library of topics to create content, and that you can use the new Authority Amplifier script to create content. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I would say again. Here's the issues that the comments that are making. Some people make comments about other people's programs. Here are our programs. They say something more affordable, expensive. I would say your job is to position your products to where they can't afford not to. The money that people spend, if they add it up on other things, irrational hobbies and golf and automobiles and upgrades and leather seats and everything people are spending $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 are that are an expense and not an investment. I would say you need to be thinking about when you communicate to your clients that to filter out people. Once you have your currency and you solve a problem that they need, that is medicine, that is insulin and not holistic oil vitamins, that is absolutely directly tied to a serious problem they need to solve, then all this stuff falls away. Then you don't hear words like expensive or affordable. You just don't, because you're looking at the opposite. The inverse of that is the cost of not doing it. How much longer, if you're at 5K a month now and you want to be at 100K or 50K, are you losing 45K every month? You don't solve the problem. How long have you been trying to solve it until now? And what are you going to do if we hang up today and you don't join? You're going to, if I call you in 6 months, what's your confidence that you are going to be where you want to be? So is 5 or 10K expensive if you're losing 45K? It's up to each individual to figure out. How can I apply the Fletcher method to a music and acting career? Great job, Tommy. Great question. So in creatives, you think about who's your avatar. Okay, you have a bunch of them. For acting or music, you're trying to get agents, distributors, and customers. And one thing you never see is musicians using advertising. It's crazy. Like, it's just like book publishing. The book, I had a big publisher publish my first book. I thought I was going to be rich, and they sold almost no copies. I didn't know enough about book marketing at the time, and they didn't have the budget because Amazon ate their lunch. So that distribution model, unless you're Stephen King, you're not going to go get $1 million deposit or $100,000 upfront advance on your book, and they're not going to sell any of the books for you either. They want authors that already have a platform. Same with musicians and actors. So you have a bunch of different avatars. You just have to understand what's the number one business goal you're trying to solve for people, and what natural path are they taking to get there, even if they don't work with you, even if you're not the right solution for them. How do I educate them? Okay. But what other competitors do they like, and can I target those competitors as well? Okay. So it's a do-it-yourself world. That's why learning these skills are so important. Even if you don't implement, even if you hire an agency to do your marketing or run your ads, you have to be the architect of this stuff. You have to be the person that maps out the process and understands it, or you'll never hand it off successfully. Who's going to create your authority amplifier? Your assistant? A marketing agency? No way. It won't come across properly. It won't represent you. People won't have a connection with you, and it won't work. Case study or written word, always a video whenever you can. You can back it up with a written word later, but a authority amplifier is a video, because that's your only time to meet somebody face to face. That's the power of the internet. Well, I'm not going to send you text when I can send you audio. I'm not going to send you audio when I can do video. I'm not going to do video when I can talk to you on the phone. I'm not going to talk to you on the phone if I can meet you in person. So what's the most scalable way that I can have the most engaging conversation with you? It's usually a video. Scalable, personal connection. I'm never going to ever deliver a piece of content to somebody without walking them through it. That's what the authority amplifier is. Oh, you want my checklist on best recipes? This is Aaron. I help people, implement these recipes every day. It's not just my system. This is the system that works for people that are hungry across the world. Let me walk you through these recipes so you can use them right now and start cooking. No pun intended. By the way, recipes fit in this greater system that we use to take aspiring chefs to the promised land. Okay? Okay. No, I'm not going to close the community altogether, Stephanie. What we're talking about is just not actively advertising the community for new members. Okay. For an indefinite period, as we optimize our process and our backend offers and our certification program and our early accelerator, like, we need to look at, instead of serving everybody on the planet, the average results per customer is the metric you should be looking at in your business too. It's not how many customers you have, it's the results per customer. And the lower price you charge means the less you can help people. It doesn't make financial sense to, imagine if we had 4,500 people in the community and we give them each a personal coach to come to their house. Okay. Well, if they paid $1 million a year, we could do it. But there's a line there between intensity and volume, and intensity is what we're focused on right now primarily. Okay. That's funny. Jack Canfield had to buy 1,000 copies of his first book. Okay. Yeah, we're not going anywhere. Will you still take on people through the affiliate programs? Yes. For as of today, it's yes. We'll likely have a price that's different, where we might adjust that pricing where people can get in and have just unlimited access to all the training. And as of now, these coaching sessions are a bonus. But if we have any news there as an affiliate, you'll be the first to know. Okay. All right. Thank you all so much. This was 90 minutes. What we owe you is we will post these images in the Facebook group of the Authority Amplifier script and the Signature Solution content roadmap. Okay. I really honor all of you, but take action. I always say this, and I can't say it enough. There's 2 ways to fail. This makes me feel really good inside too when I start anything new. Not starting in the first place or quitting. That's it. And all of you that are in my community have come from other communities and memberships and courses and this and that. And for some reason or other, you quit. Now, I'm not saying they were all right for you or it was the right timing for you, but I'm saying there's nothing you can do with marketing out there that doesn't rely on you getting this foundational stuff down ever for your current business, for future businesses. And you have to struggle a little bit more if you don't have as much help as other people maybe, but take that as a challenge and don't quit. It's so awesome. I pinch myself when I wake up, like who I get to help, the life that I get to live every single day. I just go, what's going on here? Like, when's the really bad stuff going to happen? Because this is too delicate of a life. And I'm on cloud 9 because of the hard work I did, but lots of tears and failures and doubt and loans and thinking about getting day jobs and all this entrepreneur's journey that you all know, and you know it all too well. I'm just saying, let's just take out the learnings from all that and put it into one system. And if it takes you 6 months and it took me 6 years, that's what I want for you. Okay. So y'all have a good one. Not starting and quitting. You're in the middle. There's only one outcome, is not quitting. If you quit, just tell yourself in the mirror that you quit. Don't say, well, the program didn't have the right framework for doctors. No, you quit. Don't quit. Especially if the glove don't fit. Then you must quit or a quit.